Okay. Am I online or offline? Might be nice to know here. Oh, hang on, guys. I'm assuming you guys can't see me. I'm showing myself as being offline here. Oh, man. All right, guys, let's try this again. Oh, okay. Am I here or not here? This is weird. Hi, guys. You can see me? All right. I'm showing you guys as being offline. I don't know what's going on. I see Cynthia Gwynn Yautis is on this morning. Good morning to you. And I was thinking about you over the last couple of days. I hadn't seen you in quite a while. Hope everything is okay. All right. It's back. Look, I'll do the. Okay. Now you're showing me offline. Here we go. Hang on, guys. It just came back. And now I think I am actually showing myself as being on. All right, so let's hope that this works. Okay. All right, there's your risk area for today. I have it up on the side there. And actually, SPC, with regards to the area in Oklahoma and into Missouri, has kind of expanded it again. So we're back to an area of enhanced risk today, although there's nothing going on radar-wise at the moment. And then we've got marginal risk in eastern Ohio and westernmost Pennsylvania, everything. Okay, so whatever's going on is going on. All right, so here's the radar this morning, and this is as of 10 o'clock. I just refreshed it up. One of the things you should notice is the upper air system is so far detached. This is, one of these systems, again, that has an impact over such a large area, but your upper air system, over the last couple of days when this storm was at its most intense, you've noticed that it's been much more compact in the sense everything was more drawn in. You had a pretty tight circular ball signature on the radar running up through West Kansas and Nebraska. This is why you're not seeing slight or enhanced risk into the Ohio Valley. But one of the things that's going to happen is that the upper support that's back up through the northern plains is going to start swinging eastward, and it's actually going to be strengthening a bit as it moves across the Great Lakes and into southeastern Canada, upstate New York, northern New England, and that vicinity. So you're going to have a fairly decent shortwave trough moving through the Northeast on Thursday. Plus, you are going to see some rather strong forcing with regards to the increase in dew points. I'm sorry about this, guys. I don't know what to tell you. It's beyond my control, but I wanted to get this done today. So here we have the Storm Prediction Center's risk area for Pennsylvania. You've got enhanced risk now being indicated, and a slight risk in a large area from eastern Ohio, and that extends into western Virginia. So the enhanced risk to me kind of makes sense because this is the area where we saw yesterday where we're going to see dew points climb well up into the 60s. And also in terms of the timing, and this is probably going to be where we'll see the maximum daytime heating tomorrow. In terms of the timing of such storms, it would probably bring them through Pennsylvania and maybe even into westernmost New Jersey at their maximum intensity. Now, as far as areas further east is concerned, the marginal risk is out on Long Island, except for the east end and into Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, and it kind of slices those states in half. This is going to be predicated on whether the wind direction is going to be south, or is it going to be south-southwest, or is it going to be southwest? Because if we've got more of a south wind, there's going to be a bit of a marine influence, and you're probably not going to get those supercharged dew points into the areas that you see the marginal risk. So I think it's just going to be a matter of, it's going to be the kind of day where we're going to have to just kind of sort of watch carefully how much sun we get, how high do the temperatures get, and where exactly is the warm front when this is all said and done. Now, here's the severe weather outlook for Friday. Shifts back into the plains and middle Mississippi Valley, into northern Illinois, into Chicago. But I want to just point out that for Saturday, SPC, this is for day 4 now, and they're showing in their long range. You know how I feel when they've got it in that 8-day time frame. You really have to pay attention to this. So this is for Saturday night, a 15% risk, which is equivalent to the slight risk across Ohio, Pennsylvania, and through southern New York. One of the things, by the way, one of the things that they said in their discussion with respect to tomorrow was, as far as the risk, the tornado risk, as they have it listed here, is in the Northeast, significant for tornado. I'm sorry, 10%, enhanced for tornado, slight for wind, and enhanced for hail. So I thought that was pretty interesting. They are talking about the possibility of some supercells that could develop out of all of this. And it kind of looks to me, as far as the models are concerned, that this kind of looks like, in terms of the radar presentation, what we had back on Saturday, where the thunderstorms were clustered in, was it Saturday? I'm trying to remember now. Today's Wednesday, so it certainly wasn't the last 2 days. So yeah, I think it was on Saturday night, and Saturday night, where they had the thunderstorms were kind of clustered together. So here's your HRRR model through the overnight. Of course, this is the first area where the warm front is setting up here. So the HRRR is actually trying to show a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow morning around daybreak. I've gone back and forth on this idea. I put it in cautiously. I wonder if this is a little bit overdone, but certainly the risk is there during tomorrow morning for a shower or storm as that warmer air and that warm front try. The isobars here on the HRRR actually go from being west-southwest to southwest to almost south during the afternoon. Well, not quite south, but they are turned more north-south along New Jersey and Long Island. So that's why I'm questioning the idea of how far east the strong storms get. And then you see these storms that develop on the HRRR for later tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. I'm using the 12Z run, which takes us out 33 hours. So I would suspect, if it looks like this, some folks are going to get hit fairly hard with some of these cells, and I think the SPC's idea is certainly the correct one. But again, a lot's going to depend on how much cloud cover do we get and how much daytime heating occurs. Watch the dew points. On the dew point loop is really very useful here. You can see how fast that warm tropical air gets in. And hang on one second. I just want to double check something. Whoops. Okay, I see you guys are still here, so that's good. And hang on. All right, good. I'm assuming you guys, I've got 2 voice tracks. What a day. This is just really great. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the HRRR. I'm assuming everything is going according to form here. All right, so here we have the loop. You can see you see how the dew points go. Look at where we are this afternoon, late this afternoon. Dew points in the 30s and low 40s. And then we go from there. You've got the dew points rising very quickly. They go from low 40s and low 50s tomorrow morning in Pennsylvania to almost to 70 there, just near Harrisburg by Thursday afternoon. 60s to near 70 dew points. But the borderline of those 60 dew points gets to about New York City. That is a strong push. That warm front is really trying. But if you look right along the coast, look at the way the wind is, still the models are showing mostly southerly isobars there off the New Jersey coast and over Long Island and Connecticut. So I think this really does suggest the possibility that there could be a marine layer that lies very close to coastal New Jersey. And as these storms come eastward, they're going to perhaps start to weaken a bit. I would favor the idea that they'll hold together fairly strongly in the area that you've got the enhanced risk. As you go to the slight risk, you're going to have a different issue to deal with. And just taking a look, see if we can get. I just never knew how the HRRR simulated satellite is here, but actually it is something worth looking at. So there's your elements of shear going on up through the atmosphere. So again, all the everything that's been suggested by the models, I think, is valid. Let's take a look at the. Let's see if I can get the 700. I just like to look at that. So you've got some pretty good jet streaks here during the afternoon that are running across Pennsylvania. You can see just pockets of them. Probably get a little bit tighter. And you can see them here. There's three very obvious jet streaks that are being shown by the model, but the winds here, you've got westerly winds at 60, and on the development, how SBC is being somewhat bullish on the development of severe weather. All right, so let's just take a look at what the NAM is doing here. There's your shortwave trough, by the way. If you look, that's a pretty. If you watch how the upper air evolves through all of this, you get this dumbbelling upper low, the two upper lows in the west, and of course the first one lifts up through the plains. That was the storm. Now that's moving up into the northern plains. It's going to weaken. The upper low fills there. The southwest end of that dives down into Arizona, Utah, Nevada. And then, of course, once that upper low separates from this dumbbell look, it starts to slide to the east across the lakes. And it does maintain itself to a certain degree. Actually, will probably strengthen a little bit as it moves close to our longitude. And that short wave, that's a fairly decent little short wave trough that's going to be moving along. All right, let's examine just really quick with regards to the weekend is based on the overnight models. And here's a new NAM, the 12K, by the way, I just noticed has a pretty decent looking line here, at least for the 12K, which doesn't always have the best looking views when it comes to the radar, but it does try to suggest a line coming through at about 4 or 5 o'clock. And they start to form in central PA. So it would just sort of suggest to me that the strongest storms will probably cut Pennsylvania in half, maybe in that eastern half more than in the western half. It's just a guess on my part in terms of the timing. And we don't have enough out yet of the new NAM3. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back to the GFS. And here we go. Okay, so here's your GFS, and now your short wave runs through. See how that upper low just kind of hooks up with. There's another upper low east of James Bay. It separates from the trough in the southwest, moves over the Great Lakes, merges with that one over James Bay, and then kind of strengthens as it heads up into Maine. I think Friday could wind up being like yesterday, which was a nice day, a nice sunny day with a gusty wind. Now, of course, more. Here's your energy in the west, and of course, another. Here's your storm. Dumbbell it out, moves along, drops down into that upper high, as I said, getting flattened. And now, of course, you've got another short wave swinging around in that northern jet for Monday. Ultimately, a deeper trough sets up later next week back in the Great Lakes. But notice, at least there seems to be a bit of a break here in the west where the last shortwave trough pulls out, and you get, at least for a short time anyway, more of a ridge in the west. So perhaps that might suggest a bit of a break in that unrelenting jet stream pattern that we've seen. And now here, okay, the issue overall for Sunday is the fact that that frontal boundary is going to be laying close by. How much cloud cover is there going to be around? How much sun? And whether there'll be some scattered showers or thunderstorms that develop in some areas during the afternoon and evening. I'm going to bet that most of the time it should be okay. I'm not seeing any kind of really strong onshore flow coming out of this on Sunday. If anything, it could wind up getting pretty warm because the push behind this weather front on Saturday night is really non-existent. The real cool air is way up with that high coming into North Dakota, and that is not going to really make its presence felt here until maybe Monday night or Tuesday as it tries to move southeast. So if that's the case, we get a couple of showers here late Sunday or Sunday night, or a thunderstorm, and then Monday looks like a pretty decent day with sunshine and some clouds and temperatures in the 70s to low 80s before we get the next round of nonsense with the warm front, cold front here. Warm front goes by, looks like on Tuesday, and then we've got a southwest flow setting up. If we're going to wind up with a ridge popping back up in the west and a trough back through the Great Lakes, we may wind up seeing some warmer weather later next week with a high off the east coast and a southwest wind ahead of whatever cold front comes through late next week. So I remain. I wouldn't say cautiously optimistic for the weekend. I'm feeling pretty sure about the idea that much of the time during the dayside periods will be dry. And yes, there is the shower risk, of course, and the risk for thunderstorms, but they will perhaps be confined to the nighttime hours, and that will be that. So let me just apologize for the signal issues today. It is really, believe me when I tell you, I rebooted my modem, my wireless. There's been some area-wide issues where I live, and I know that they were doing some line work. On top of that, YouTube was having issues with me actually trying to get the live stream underway at all. So somehow I managed to pull that part off. So again, apologies. The one for this evening coming from Rybrook hopefully won't have any issues. I still, by the way, do not have live capability access on my Facebook page, which has become a real sore point. We moved the Joe and Joe Weather Show over to YouTube last night. And now we're doing it in reverse, where we're going to do it on YouTube, and then I'm going to upload it to Facebook, and it's going to come. It's going to come much later. So you guys will get the link and the link for when it's on live, which we're going to shoot for the usual time, which is 9:20. And everybody else that's on Facebook's just going to have to wait till the next morning for me to put it up. There's not, that's just the way it is. Sad but true. All right, so look, Robert Brown, they're forecasting 100 degrees for Goldsboro, North Carolina next Thursday. No, that's a pretty bold forecast. I guess it depends on the wind direction and how much sun. And is that upper high going to be sitting right over North Carolina or not? That I think is the key question. But you know what? Let's give it a couple of runs of the models at least before, and then we'll give it a better look, and better you than me. I wilt once it gets over 90. As I've gotten older, handling the heat has been harder and harder. So I'm not looking forward to those long stretches of. Okay, let me start that again. YouTube schedule tonight at 6 o'clock. That's the regular YouTube show. The Joe and Joe Weather Show on YouTube will be at roughly 9:20 Eastern time, and then it will go up on Facebook whenever I get to it. And we'll probably live stream. I'll probably do a Patreon live stream tomorrow morning so we can watch to see how all this severe weather is going to play out. All right, folks, have a great day. And if you need to, if you got any questions, just send me messages through, however you want to send them to me, whether you want to put them on Patreon